everybody. Happy
Hi.
holidays. We're going to do a special Christmas Eve episode. And hopefully Lucy's here. We decided that we would have Cassie channel Charles Dickens. We're just really interested, every year we watch Christmas Carol and there's a bazillion versions of this story.
There's a lot.
And it seems to just resonate kind of with society, the way we think, the way we feel about each other during Christmas time.
It's definitely like ahead of its time, I think, when it came, when it was published. And we also put out a Christmas riddle, which was, the answer was Scrooge, but because we asked the author's name and not the characters, it's Charles Dickens. So Moira Anderson answered correctly that it's Charles Dickens, so we will be answering, or my mom will be answering your question. But also, one of my favorite responses, it was like a grumpy holiday hater, and one of them answered Trump. Said it was Trump. And I'm like, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, yeah.
Bring in Mr. Charles Dickens.
Okay. Was he tall?
I don't know. Probably
a bit,
not.
A bit imposing.
Yeah, okay.
I see him with like this weird shaped beard. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I'm just kind of noticing things about him.
Tell me about something from your childhood, something about the way you grew up that kind of shaped your writing and the things you write about.
He's showing him as a young boy sledding and doing a bunch of like winter things. Like winter was a big part of his life. I don't feel like Christmas was. I feel like Christmas wasn't really a thing until he wrote about A Christmas Carol, that it became more prominent, in people's lives. Like Christmas was a holiday, but it was like, I don't know, some nothing holiday you don't think about, and it just kind of passes by, but you don't do anything for it. Like President's Day or something, where you acknowledge it, but you don't really. Some people do stuff, some people don't, but that's kind of what Christmas was.
So maybe it changed the way we celebrate it.
Yeah, for sure it did. And he said he always loved wintertime. That was he has a lot of childhood memories that influenced A Christmas Carol. And particularly, there was this old man that they had a past life together. There was this old man he befriended, and I feel like he used to do something for him. But that is one of the people that inspired Scrooge, the character Scrooge, because he wondered about what happened in his life to get him to where he was. I don't feel like he was like a mean man or something. I just feel like he wondered that a lot, though. And with different people, like, what's their story? Like, what happened to them to make them be like this, or to make them be kind, or to make them be mean? Like, what happened to them?
He almost analyzed people in a way.
He was an analyzer. Yeah, he definitely was, and had that like writer mindset.
I don't know how prominent like ghost stories were then. I don't think they were that popular for some reason. But how did the afterlife compare with how he portrayed it in A Christmas Carol? What were the similarities and differences?
Okay, well, first, before I get into that, he said that a lot of the ghost stories that he would hear was like from the neighborhood kids telling each other about ghost stories and being like, oh, this house is haunted, and don't go in there because Mr. Snippets is this mean old man his wife died, that kind of thing. That was kind of the only stories he heard, and he kind of again used that for A Christmas Carol, taking those stories. But the first thing he said, it wasn't as dark as he imagined the afterlife would be. It wasn't as grim as he imagined it would be. Because he was a very solemn, kind of dark person himself. Like, he thought darkly about things and had kind of a dry sense of humor about things, and he always kind of looked on, you know, the glass half empty instead of half full. And that's just kind of, you know, because that was the person he was, that's how he viewed the afterlife. He said that the Ghost of Christmas Past is probably the most accurate element of his, because you do review your life.
Oh, okay.
And you do review your life in a way that you're there, but you can't be seen. That it is like you can walk through your life.
Oh.
That some people think it's like a movie, that you're like seeing it like a movie, but it's not. When you've passed, you can actually go through your life and see the different elements of that life.
That's awesome. That's cool. I mean, that's really cool. That's a great, you know, thing to know.
And it feels more like a movie, like when we dream, because we're not quite there yet, and we don't have that ability yet to just go from into the film, you know? It's like when you've passed away, you can go into the film and you can walk around and you can see this and see that and see things that maybe you didn't notice before. He's talking about the chains with Marley. That's not true.
Okay.
And for him, it was a simple, you know, when he was alive and he wrote the story, the chains weren't as much of what's gonna happen, but were a symbol of that he was bound by all the mistakes he made, and the chains were binding him. You know, it was more symbolic than it was something he actually believed was gonna happen.
And it's funny because that he would say he's a glass half empty guy, because to me that story is always
glass half full.
It turns around at the end, and so I wonder if and I know it was kind of a depressing time to be in as well. What gave him that element of hope? Do you think it was something spiritual? Was it something a little bit like knowing there was something else? Or
it was, you know, there it definitely was. I think because there were a lot of reasons why he chose to write A Christmas Carol. I feel like it was with a newspaper, though. Was it with a newspaper, and like he would release articles instead of it being like a full book? He would release like different chapters in the articles.
I don't know.
I feel like he did that, and the reason why he chose that story was because it gave others hope, not so much himself. That it gave others hope, and he realized that, and that's why he kept publishing these stories, because the idea that one, your protagonist is this awful man, it's not like this hero or something that's coming to save the day. He's like this cruel, old, you know, frail man who's done all these awful things in his life. And, you know, you have this man who's, you know, sympathetic yet unsympathetic. And who has to go through these three ghosts and you see his past. You see that he had hardship. You see what led up to him being him, and then the fact he could change. I think that resonated a lot with people. Right. Something about it gave a lot of hope to the people of. He's from England, right? To England, you know.
Can you speak to, or can he speak to the Scrooge we have in the Oval Office right now? And what, I mean, because it's so just speak to the similarities between Scrooge and Trump, and how it's
relevant. I mean, that's the first thing that comes off.
Agreed.
The other thing is that whether people want to make him a sympathetic character or not, he's not really, but there are a lot of things that would explain how he is right now. A lot of things past life-wise, too.
Okay. I have, if you go back and look at the Trump dad video, talks about that as well.
People have tried to reach him, you know, like ghosts of Christmas, like have tried to reach him before. Through dreams, through... I even feel like they've, like, messed with stuff. Like in the White House, like is he terrified of like a certain room or something in the White House?
I think so. I think I remember hearing something like that. That he is like
Yeah, part of it is his mind, and another part isn't his mind. It's like there is some weird stuff going on in there. I feel like Abraham Lincoln is talking to him. Is trying to get to him.
Yeah, he's probably like, hi.
There's a few people, though, prominent people. His parents are trying to get to him. His dad, especially, is trying to.
Marley. That's Marley in his life.
Yes.
That really is.
Yes, that is Marley. Because he made the exact same mistakes as Trump. The exact same mistakes. They are no different. He does revisit his past a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's planning to come back. Fred Trump is planning to come back at some point, because he has done so much wrongdoing in his life that he needs to make up for it. So it's like he has so much. Like, I just see this like list of just stuff he has to do to make it right, to just like karmically make it right. And Trump's list is going to be even longer, he says.
Right.
Yeah. I do feel like Fred Trump is here, but back on Charles Dickens.
What can you say about because this story was made to reach people, right? So what is the collective, what are we supposed to be learning spiritually from this time as it relates to your story?
To not judge a book by its cover. To not judge so quickly. And to be patient with people. Because you don't know what they've experienced before meeting you, before shaking your hand, that what they've experienced in their lives, including Trump. I think we shouldn't give sympathy, but we should have understanding. And we should understand that this man is sick and he has been through a lot in his life, especially in his childhood. A lot of neglect. So we need to be understanding for that, but not be forgiving.
How do we use it to make things better right now? Things suck. Things suck right now. How do we use that lesson to make things better?
Know that things are... hold hope. Hold hope that people can change. The people that are in the White House, there are a lot of people that are changing and that are switching, to keep hope and to never stop believing that things will get better. Because that is the one thing he learned from his life, was to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. Because he did that for most of his life. But in the story of A Christmas Carol, you're looking at it half full instead of half empty. And I think that that's what we need to do, is look at it from that angle, instead of thinking that everything is terrible, everything sucks, it's going to be, I don't know what to do. You need to hold out hope that things will get better, and that people will change, and that people will disappoint you, but people will also rise to the occasion.
Thanks, Cassie. Thank you, Charles Dickens. Thank you, viewers, for a great year. We're going to keep going next year. We'll have some surprises next year for you guys, and hopefully some more live, a few more live feeds, so we can all kind of get together and answer questions quickly. And I'll also have some information on readings, and we're trying to figure that out. So we're just talking about it. We'll figure it out.
We also want to answer Moira Anderson's question.
Right. Her question was, where does inspiration come from?
Which is a great question.
It's a great question.
And I've had to deal, we both have had to deal with that, because I'm a writer, I'm a screenwriter, and my mom she's a songwriter, but she also sings, and does music, so yeah.
And my personal feeling, and from what I understand, and in my own experiences, I can tell you that I believe inspiration comes from a couple of different places. I think it not only comes from source energy or God or whatever you kind of want to call it, it also comes from your higher self. I think that you come here with a contract, you come here with things you want to accomplish and things you want to do. And I think that there are certain things that are inspired, that it comes from your your higher self. It can also come from, when it comes to like creativity, you're actually pulling something out of nowhere and making it material, making it real, and you're leaving it here on the earth. It's a very big thing when you do something like that. And I do think it comes from, it can come from spirit guides. It can come from
I definitely have relatives. Had that before.
It can come from people like that are speaking to you all the time. You know, when you meditate, or when you're in kind of a meditative space, it comes to you and it feels like magic, but it is like the other side kind of talking to you, giving you information, reminding you maybe of what you wanted to accomplish here. So that's what I think inspiration is. It's kind of a myriad of different things that are filtering kind of into your life and helping you to create what you want to create here on earth. For me, it feels like it either, the way I know it's inspiration is either it will pop in, like I'll think, where did that even come from? Or it will leave me. I'll keep thinking about it, and it will just keep, I'll keep thinking, I have to do this, it's a really good idea, I have to do this. It will just keep re-entering. That's how I kind of know when I'm being spoken to. So you can also look for that. If there's an idea that just keeps coming back to you for some reason, go with it, because that is either your higher self reminding you, or your spirit guides telling you or reminding you that this is something you need to either do or think about doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you guys for watching. We are on Twitter now, so please follow us at Intuitiview. We are starting to put updates more, and it's becoming, we're getting more regular with it. Mm-hmm. And then please subscribe, please like us, follow us,
comment,
share us,
do comments. Send if you want to send an email in the new year with a question. Great. Try to keep it to one question, just because my emails tend to be a little bit long for the reading. So just send in a question. I'll be happy to answer it after the first. I'm trying to catch up still, so that'd be great.
And then also do #requestcassie if you want me to do any more channeling. I need to do that. I have tons of requests, so we're going to get a list together. And then for the new year, we'll have like a bunch of listed people that we're going to definitely do. So definitely look out for more channelings. We'll definitely do that more.
Right. Yeah. And happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Lucy's down there eating her chewy, but whatever. Happy holidays from us at Intuitiview. Bye.
We're all the same.